Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to Poke Zoo Channel and the Guitar Ladder System. Hey, I'm looking at this 1969. It says right on the label 1969. Looks like model F108 Yamaki. And just so you know, this is actually the first Yamaki I've ever had. I've only seen one other one too. I rented my parents had a cabin in Idlewild, California. So since I was about 2 years old, I've always gone to the mountains a lot. I love Idlewild in California. But I actually rented a cabin once that was really high up, and you had to drive back a dirt road, and the cabin was so high you were almost like at the top of the mountains. It was really a beautiful view, and it was very secluded, and I just kind of played a lot of guitar and talked to lizards. Anyway, but I actually rented it from the guy. The guy that owned the cabin has actually rented that cabin to Kenny Loggins, who used to go up there and write music and stuff. And when the guy when he saw me, loading in all my guitars and stuff into the cabin as I arrived, and I paid him for the cabin, he goes, "Oh, I'm a guitar player, and I'm a collector." I go, "Really cool." He goes, "I got a guitar I got to show you." And he actually brought it over, and it was a Yamaki, and it just sounded unreal. And that's the first time I'd even heard of Yamaki or seen one or played one, and it was really impressive. Really had a lot of tone, a lot of voice, and really a lot of sustain. So this is actually the first Yamaki I've ever had in my inventory or in my collection, and it's pretty damn rare. It's a '69. It's got some flame mahogany, which is really really rare. It needs some additional setup. I've already dialed it in a hell of a lot compared to how it was when I first got it, but it needs a little more setup work. But this guitar would be a deal at $1,000, but I'm willing to let it go for $675 because somebody's going to need to put a little bit more work into it. But the tone is just amazing, and like I said, it's really really a rare guitar, and I kind of specialize in selling stuff that's a great value, and I've sold a lot of lawsuit Takaminis and Ibanez and things like that. I think this has got a better sound than any of them, though. It just has a resonance, and it has a sustain that you can hear. I've got it in Dadgad because I love Dadgad. And the bridge is rattling a little bit. It probably needs a little adjustment. I'm not exactly sure what to do, but it's not rocket science. But I've already adjusted the neck on this thing many times because I feel it's better to adjust the neck over a period of time and kind of let it settle in. But this is really a high quality guitar. I would put it at it sounds better, and I'm not just saying this trying to sell it. I'd rather not sell it actually. I'm just trying to give you the information as I see it from having over 35 years of buying, selling, collecting, playing guitars. Because I've had a lot of, everything from Yairis to Alvarez to Takamine to, all kinds of, and some of the quality of some of the made in Japan guitars in the 70s is incredible, but they vary from guitar to guitar. But this isn't, I actually said on one of my other ads 6970, but then I noticed the guy I bought it from said it was a 669. And I wasn't sure if he knew what he meant. Then I just now actually double checked the label. It says 1969, so it's pretty rare. I'll go 675 on this. I'm not going to go a penny less, and that way somebody can put a little something more money into dialing it in. But it's got a sustain, and it's always so hard to describe tone. It's like a really great older Martin, but with more space around the notes. It still has the definition and clarity, but there's more space. Yeah, this is really a lot of guitar, and like I said, it's the first one I've ever had, and only the second one I've ever seen. And the guy that showed me the one that I rented the cabin from in Idlewild that Kenny Loggins used to stay at, really nice cabin. That guy was a collector and had quite a collection I didn't look at his entire collection. Most people that have a collection, if they don't know you, they're now, oh yeah, come over and look at my 200,000 in guitars. But he was nice enough to share his Yamaki with me, and he was obviously really passionate and excited about it. So, I was a little familiar with it, but it's not one that's as familiar, and they were made in very limited amounts. It's got a hard case with it too, but yeah, I'll go $675. Yes, you have to pay some shipping. But yeah, this is every time I play this guitar, I get kind of excited, and that's not being a salesman. This is really a rare guitar. It sounds incredible. It's super light. Oh my God, that's one of the reasons it sounds so good, I think, because it's light, and like I said, very, very, very rare to find a mahogany back that has flame in it. I know it's kind of hard to see. You have to be at the right angle to see it, so I'm not sure what angle you're seeing here. But yeah, this is a lot of guitar. It's a very rare guitar. It's probably one of the higher, if not the highest quality made in Japan acoustic I've ever had. I've had Yairis. I'm not really that impressed with most Yairis. Of course, I believe every guitar is different. But I think the Yairis are kind of overrated. I'm sure there's some great ones out there. I've had Alvarez made in Japan guitars that were unbelievable. But the bottom line is every guitar is a little bit different. But the Yamaki is. I feel it was probably made by some very, very accomplished luthiers that were probably also making guitars for Ibanez and Alvarez and Aria and some of these other companies, and maybe they started to get their own thing going, and they got a little pressure, maybe a little legal pressure from some of the bigger companies. Maybe they weren't supposed to be making stuff. That's kind of the vibe that I get. But I'm just saying, this is a really high quality guitar. It doesn't take long. You pick it up and you play a couple chords, and it's really easy to hear the resonance, and when you play a chord and the sustain and the quality of the woody kind of quality. So this is going to be a short. I've got a string on the second string that's way too thin, by the way, but yeah, I've adjusted the neck on it because this probably hadn't been adjusted for a long time, so it's adjusted just fine. But I've done it separately, 7 or 8 times just to let the neck kind of settle into itself. But it still needs a little bit of setup work. But man. I think it's one of the best sounding made in Japan guitars I've ever had at any price. And this, with the flame mahogany back, this would still be a great value if you paid me $1,000 for it. But I bought a package deal of guitars and was able to get lucky enough to get this one. So I'll go $675 on it plus shipping. I'm not going to go a penny less. Really tempted to keep it because it just really has a sound. But I attract great guitars, and I can't get attached to them. I can't run a small guitar business and fall in love with every great. People always email me or message me off YouTube. Oh, you should just keep it, man. Not quite that simple, I like to help people get into really nice guitars. Well, this is one for the collection. This is one you buy and you keep for life because it just sounds amazing, and it's got that woody kind of Martin-y tone. But it's got a sustain, and it still has the definition and clarity, but it has kind of that piano-like roundness. It's so hard to describe tone. This is a very, very resonant guitar, and it's a 69. So this is very, very rare. You don't see them very often with like I said, with the flame mahogany back too, which is really cool because it's kind of subtle. Like sometimes you look at it, you don't even see it, then you have it at a different angle and you really see it. I've taken some pictures of it. But yeah, this is like I said, it's the only Yamaki I've ever had in my inventory, and only the second one I've ever seen. The first one being the guy that owned that cabin I rented in Idlewild, California, which is kind of up above Palm Springs. That he used to rent that cabin to Kenny Loggins, and I actually saw one of his ads on Craigslist about the cabin, and thought, maybe I'll try it, And it was a little more secluded than I think I want. I think because I love people, and I rent another cabin in Ottawa where people walk by, and I'll kind of shoot the bull with them for a while. I kind of miss that, but I did enjoy the seclusion, and it was the view was unbelievable. I would play guitar on the balcony, and like I said, I was almost it was high up, so I could look out and see the top of the mountains, and it was a nice couple of days. But anyway, I'll go 675 on this. Like I said, to me, it's a serious step above, like a Made in Japan Ibanez or Made in Japan Alvarez, and even a serious step up from most Yaris I've played. A lot of Yaris I've played are okay, but they don't have that open musical voice where you still have the clarity and definition, but you have an openness and a sustain. You can play something on here and it kind of really, hell of a guitar. So I'm not sure what angle you can see the flame at, but anyway, like I said, very, very rare, this guitar. Very, very rare. It's only the first Yamaki I've ever had in inventory, and only the second one I've ever seen. So I just thought I'd share that information. So I hope this goes to a good home, because it's really a special guitar. It just needs a little more dialing in. Maybe you might need to have somebody sand the bridge down a little bit, and then sand the inside piece here that comes out, and help everything lower that way. A luthier might try to sell you on a neck reset, and it could use a neck reset, but it doesn't really need to. I've only done one neck reset in over 30 years, but they make a lot of money on it, if you can find somebody that will give you a really great price on it. But I would just, if I was going to keep this guitar, which I still could, by the way, I would just have somebody sand down the bridge, take this piece out, sand the bottom brass piece, and you can bring everything down that way. So, but that's up to you, But yeah, I'll go 675 plus shipping on this. Really, really special guitar. Hopefully you can hear it. All right, folks, take care. Let's all keep the positive faith. But yeah, this is a 1969. It says right on the label there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but all right, folks, take care.